What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Hey man, I got the Sterling H224 audio interface here, and I spent a little bit of time with it, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys my first review of it, a little bit of a review. I'm gonna spend some more time and do another in-depth review, but I'm gonna talk to you about this, tell you what I think about it, and tell you some of the nuances about it, what it can and cannot do, and what I think you will be pretty impressed by. So right here, right now, on this channel, it's about to go down. So, you ready? Here we go. So this is the Sterling H224 audio interface, and this sells for $149 when it's at regular price at Guitar Center, a musician's friend. I believe you can probably also order it on Target as well. Believe it or not, go to target.com, you might find this. They have it at a lot of different places. They have a lot of their products on those different sites. So musician's friend and Guitar Center, for sure, you can get these. You can order these and have them sent right to you. So $149, and this is an audio interface. Now, for those of you who don't know and you're new and you're looking for the products, you want to know what an audio interface does. The audio interface basically takes the place of, say, having a full-fledged soundboard. I used to have a PV 20 some odd channel soundboard that I don't use anymore. I ended up with another PV soundboard that was a smaller one that I don't have to use anymore because I started using these audio interfaces. The reason is you can plug in microphones, you can plug in instruments, you can do all of these different things right from one product. So having this product alleviates that big soundboard, especially if you have a portable studio or a small home studio like you see here. Having this type of product is going to come in handy. Having any type of audio interface is going to be much better than having, say, a 35, a 36, or 48, or 90-something channel soundboard in your possession. According to Sterling, I'm going to read my notes. According to Sterling, it delivers studio-grade circuitry, superior sound quality, and flexible monitoring. They are literally saying that their product at $149 store brand will give you studio quality sound. So now, if you're going to make that type of claim, you need to be able to stand by and stand up and be able to prove that you can actually stand up to some of this stuff. Now, you have to understand, there are products that cost thousands of dollars this is not competing with. But when you look at what most people have in their studios, Focusrite, Presonus, and different and others, brands that are priced the same that people use in professional studios, how does this stack up? They say it is going to stack up. It's going to give you the same sound. Let's compare the Focusrite with the Sterling. Now, the reason we're going to do that is because I think I said earlier, I did a little bit of a survey online on Facebook, and everybody that I talked to seemed to be using the Focusrite. So I have my Focusrite here, and I want to go through this real quick, and I want to show you the inputs, the outputs, all of the connections, and then I'll show you what the Sterling has to offer. Now, the Focusrite seems to be pretty much the standard. Everybody's using it. It's probably the most popular audio interface on the market right now. So with this, you're going to have your XLR in, which is your microphone in, as well as your quarter inch input for microphone as well. Now, these jacks, you can do either or on here. In addition to that, of course, you're going to have your volume control for those inputs as well. In addition to that, your master volume control on here, and you can select whether you want it to be whether it's for an instrument, because if you're playing a guitar or bass, you can actually plug those in here as well, which is a really neat feature, so you can select whether or not it's an instrument or whether or not it's a microphone. Either one you can actually do. In addition to that, you do have the capability of having the 48 volt for phantom power for some of your other, your other mics, your studio mics that are out there. And of course, a headphone jack. Now on the back, you will have your left and right out for your monitor. So that's going to go to your standard studio speaker, which is what everybody's going to do. You're going to go to that speaker. And of course, over here, you'll see your connection, which is how you connect it to your computer. This is the old school printer connector out to the computer. So that's how you USB that out to your computer. So that's basically the Focusrite. The Focusrite works well. The sound quality is great. When it's on, and of course it's not plugged up now, the indicators light up around here going from green to red. If the sound is too loud, you know that you're clipping. You can back down and you'll see the red flashing light. So those are just some of the basics on it. And really that's what the Focusrite does. Works well, sounds great. I've been using it for probably about 2 years maybe, and it's been great, maybe even longer than that. So it's been great and it works. Great product. Now, again, that is the product that seems to be the standard. Everybody's using the Focusrite 2x2 or whatever you want, 2 in, 2 out, whatever it is. They're using that 2i2 product, and this is the standard. So back in March, Sterling introduced the H224 product. And when they introduced this product, this is to go in competition with, of course, the Focusrite. And so if you're going to go up against the best, you better be bringing it. So I'm going to go through the connections and show you what Focusrite has as it relates to the Sterling as it relates to Focusrite, and tell you some of the nuances and differences about this product versus the Focusrite. So I'm going to start on the back, and then I'll come back to the front. So just starting on the back, you do have your microphone XLR, which is also combined with the inputs being 1/4 inch inputs as well. And you can do instrument or microphone just like you can on a Focusrite. So in that regard, they're exactly the same. Now, one of the differences though is that the actual Focusrite is either or, and let's say you forget to switch. With the Focusrite, if you forget to tell it that it's an instrument, it won't work. With the Sterling, it will. It will still work, even if you forget to hit the little button and tell it, which is a neat little feature if you just happen to be running fast and just kind of, forget it. Now, let's keep moving on that. You have, instead of having 2 speaker outputs like you do on this one, you actually have 4 outputs. So it's actually, instead of being 2x2, it's 2x4. So what you get is you can set up 2 separate monitor situations on the Sterling and you cannot do that on the Sterling or the Focusrite. So let me explain how that's going to work. Your main one is your in, and your second mix out is your 3 and 4. So you have the 1 and 2, like on your DAW, when you see output 1 and 2, stereo 1 and 2, that's what this relate to. And if you change over, you can make that 3 and 4. That's what the 3 and 4 relates to. So I'm going to come back to that because there's a little nuance about that I want to explain, but I probably want to set it up and show it to you instead of telling you. Let's keep moving. Next, Midi. This has the Midi port on it. Again, that's a feature that is not on the Focusrite. And that, I think for some guys, if you're playing keyboard or something like that, especially if you're being mobile and you just happen to run into some type of Korg or some other keyboard that has that MIDI style like this, you can plug right into it. And that's not something that you can do on the Focusrite. So the Sterling has added that to it as well. So now let's flip around to the front. Well, let me say this. Instead of having the old school printer out, you actually have USB-C out to USB-A that you would normally have on the back of your computer. So it really works well. And it comes with the cable as well. On the front, you have your instruments in and out. Now, that's a difference that you have here. So on the Focusrite, just so we can go back and see it, the front goes microphone or instrument in. Got it? But on the Sterling, you have the instrument in the front, but you can actually do it through the mic side and the back. It will allow you to do it. And that was something that I had to find out. I had a conversation with someone and they explained that to me, which was really, really great. So let's move past that and go on to the front of the machine to see what we got here. I'm going to start with the LED lights. With the lights, you can see the channel when you plug in for your instruments that come in and you turn them up, you'll see the volume of that channel in a graph type situation going up and down versus a flashing light like you see on the Focusrite going from green to red. You can actually see if it's peaking going up through yellow, orange, and all the way up to red. Same thing with your outputs. it works the exact same way. You'll see the lights flashing as it goes up. I've actually found that to be a little bit more beneficial with recording, just in testing them out. Just the initial testing, that was a lot more beneficial than just waiting on that light to flash to know if I'm peaking. Just in case I don't take a peek over there or don't look, that was something that was really, really cool. Of course, you have your volume knob just like you do on your Focusrite, except your volume knob doubles as a mute. If you press it in, it actually mutes the channel. So that's a neat feature. In addition, you have these pads here. Now, I was confused about the pads at first, but again, in my conversation earlier today, I discovered why they did this. So what happens is when you have your microphone or when you have your instruments coming in, this has the pad feature and the high pass filter on here as well. So you're doing it from here versus say on a microphone. And I know you got plenty of microphones that have that. Let's say you forget to flip the switch, you can actually just do it right from here. So you don't have to stop your recording. You don't have to go jump up and disturb the artist. You can just come over here, hit the pad or hit the high pass filter and do that right from here. And it still sends it into the system, into your DAW nice and clean, and does all of the work for you. So that brings me to another thing as it relates to the front inputs on this. This is all you need. So if you have a guitar or a bass and you want to plug into this, normally you would bring your rig or direct box or something like that. You don't actually have to do that with this. You can go straight from your guitar into this and in, and you can use the DAW situation amplifier, you know, different boxes or different cabinet styles that are in there. You can actually do that right through here, or you could come back later and change it because you have the raw file in your computer. So it's really, really neat, but it works as a direct box, so you don't need to bring a direct box. This is a direct box. So this essentially gets rid of the direct box. It does everything that the Focusrite does, and then it has some abilities that the Focusrite does not. So if I'm comparing these just on paper or just a quick, listen when I first set it up, this is already much better than my Focusrite. Number one, if for nothing else, because of the two outputs that I have to set up to go to another set of speakers, which I want to get into and explain. With the Sterling, you can not only, with your channel 1 and 2, you'll hear channel 1 and 2 in your main studio monitors like I would normally do. But with 3 and 4, you actually have to set up a bus in your DAW to actually tell the computer to send that signal over there, which is a really good little feature, because if you have a singer and the singer says, "Hey Keith, I want to hear nothing but just the piano and myself and a little bit of the drum," you can actually go into the bus and send those signals to 3 and 4, and that singer can actually get those signals, get exactly what they want in their headphones, and it does not affect what you're actually getting in the actual recording with the full sound. So if you're still listening to it and monitoring it either with your studio monitors or your headphones, and that's really cool too, you can actually do that separately right from the Sterling H224. So you don't have to do anything separate or buy another piece of equipment, because this actually has everything built into it to do it. Again, all you would do, go to the channel, create the bus, go down, select your output. If you're in Logic, you're gonna have to go down and select your output stereo, go to 3 and 4, shoot it over, turn it up, and now all of a sudden the piano is there, or the vocal is there, or the drum, or whatever you want to go there. Which brings you to another thing. I also have a Behringer mic amplifier, or I'm sorry, headphone amplifier. So I can send a separate mix to the headphone amplifier and have that readily available for, say, a group of singers that are singing and they all want to be able to hear what's going on in the system, but they don't want to hear the whole band. They don't need to hear the guitar and the bongos or whatever. They can actually just hear what's they're doing against, say, a piano and, say, a drum. Or maybe they just don't want to hear the piano. They just want the drum. Whatever it is that singer wants, you'll be able to send that over and create that separate mix right through this, and control it volume wise, turn it up and down, and it does not affect, because you just selected, it does not affect what you're doing in the main signal over there. Now, which brings me to another point. Your headphone jack on that as well will allow you to monitor either or. So you can switch between the two different signals. You can hear exactly what's going to the headphone mix. If they say turn me up and you say, is that loud enough? You want to listen. Maybe you want to turn something down instead of turn it up. However it goes, you can actually monitor that and still not be affecting the main mix, okay? So then you can switch back over to the main mix and you're not bothering them, and then you can start turning the volume up. You can even mute either or of those or both. So you have a lot more flexibility when you have the Sterling product over the Focusrite, and that's why I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to be selling this or giving it away, because this is not going to be able to take the place of what the Sterling can do so far. I mean, it's very, very versatile. It gives you just so much ability to move and do other things. One thing I learned about technology, and this is doing that, is that technology is only good for you, or is only a good thing when technology gets out of your way. When technology should make your life easy, but it should get out of the way as quickly as possible. And by that I mean you should be able to do what it is, hit the button, boom, 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 and then forget it and go, and not have to think about what is this doing and keep monitoring something. When technology gets to when your technology constantly requires you to check it or constantly requires you to do other things, that means that you are not engaged in the creative process or engaged in whatever it is you're doing. So technology only works when it gets out of the way. And the Focusrite definitely gets out of the way, but the Focusrite makes me have to have another product. Okay, I'm going to need something else, because the Focusrite only does one thing. It does it well, but it only does the one thing. On the other hand, the Sterling product not only does what this does, but it actually does a few things that the Focusrite cannot do. Which brings me to one other situation. Just like you have those outputs on the back where you get 3 and 4, which is going to be your separate studio mix, this gave me an idea and made me realize that it can also do one other thing, and that is it could possibly replace my big knob. Possibly. The only reason that I can see that it wouldn't is because it would allow me, of course, the Sterling allows me to send that signal over, but I have to send that signal over every time I create a new track, and I have to try to get the same type of balance or volume that I'm getting in the main mix. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So in that sense, theoretically, it can replace the big knob, but in actuality, if I'm honest, the more I think about it, it doesn't replace it. What I would need to do is, since I have multiple monitors, I would need to have this as because I mix and master, so I use 2 different speakers to see what to judge them and get them balanced, to make certain that my end product sounds well. What I would do is send the channel one, stereo output 1, 2 over to this, send this out to my 2 other speakers, and now I have that as my so that I can switch between the speakers from the big knob, and I'm not worried about is the balance the same on the second set of speakers. Okay, so I'm not, in other words, in essence, I'm not remixing the product, but this still gives me the ability to have that headphone mix where the big knob does not. What the big knob does is sends the exact same signal to multiple speakers. On this particular model, sends it to 2 other speakers, which would be from my PreSonus or my Mackies. So it would send them to that, but it doesn't affect the mix. So since I had this connected up to my headphone amplifier, if an artist said they wanted a different mix and I was only using this, I couldn't give them more volume without bothering the rest of the mix. This does that. So these 2 things, I think, combined are going to make an excellent team, because I can control both my speakers and have a separate mix to my amplified speaker, amplified headphones situation. So that's going to make a really, really nice combination and give me a lot more versatility. So I'm definitely going to keep the big knob. Definitely excited about the Sterling because it gives me so much more just versatility to bring a guitar player in, to bring in to mic a guitar, to bring in a bass, whatever I want to do, I can do that right from here. So that's really, really exciting to see what this product is going to do. On the other hand, the Focusrite. So yeah, listen, if I got to give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down, I think you already know where I'm going with this. The Sterling H224 audio interface, hands down, this gets 2 thumbs up. This product is solving a lot of problems that I had, and it's only $149. Now, understand, there's a lot that this product, a lot of things that I probably could go even deeper on as far as all of the specs and all of this stuff. But the proof is in the pudding, man. You have to actually take a product and set it up and use it. You need to sit down with it. I'm advising you, go get this product, plug it in, use the product, and test it against your Focusrite, test it against your Personas, take it, the things that fall into that price category. I think that for the money, pound for pound, this is one of the best purchases you're going to make for your studio, especially if you have a separate situation or separate setup for your vocals so that you can listen and do your things separately. This is going to be the product that you want. Very, very easy to use, very, very user-friendly, build quality. It's on par with anything I can think of. So yeah, I think it's a really great product, and I really think you should go out and pick up one of these. Go tell them I said it. If you leave a review, make certain you leave a review for them on the Guitar Center site or on the Musician Friends site. Leave a review, and if you do, please, please, please let them know you saw it here first. Uh-oh, my screen went dark. I don't like when my screen goes dark. I don't know why. I like to have it up. It shouldn't have went dark, but that's weird. But I really, really think this is a product you should go and purchase. Go ahead, get it. Tell them I sent you. Tell them I said it. Trust me, I'm not sponsored. I don't get any monies or anything from that. I just think that it's a really, really good product, and I just appreciate it if you leave a comment and say, hey, you saw that Music Gear Reviews, and Keith said go get it, and you like the product. I think it is. And if you have any questions about the product, please, please, please go to my YouTube channel, or you can go to my personal website. They're both on the screen. Check those out. Leave me a comment or ask me a question, and I'll try to help you out as best I can. I do try to reply to everybody that speaks to me on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube and you say something, I'm coming. Just give me a moment. I might take a minute to get to you, but I'm definitely going to come and say something. So if you got any questions about the product, hey, man, hit me up on YouTube or hit me up on my personal website. All right? So I really appreciate that. Like I said, the big knob, gonna stay, the Focusrite. Maybe I'll do a giveaway. I don't know. We'll see.